Hello everybody, this is Niclas Huschenbeth and today I would like to show you my game from the Bundesliga round number 14. We're playing against SK Norderstedt, our travel partner, because it's very close to Hamburg, and I was playing against international master Andrey Ostrovskiy, rated 2433. And this, if you've seen the last video about my Bundesliga game in round 13, was yet again a very important match for us because we need another win to make sure we're not relegating to the second league. So let's get into it. I was playing with the white pieces, but before we begin I almost forgot the comment of the day. And the comment of the day is a very nice one by Stephen Garnett. He congratulates me on reaching 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he really made my day with this comment. Very, very nice. And also, if you guys like Harry Potter and you like audiobooks, then make sure to check out his channel. He put up some very, very good work recording and narrating the Harry Potter books. So great stuff. All right, let's get to the game. And I start out with 1d4. Big surprise to my opponent, and I almost automatically played 1d4, but I had prepared 1d4 to surprise him, and it worked out fairly well, I would say. So I haven't played d4 that much, maybe twice in my life. I think so, twice in my life. Also, there was another game you can check out on the channel against Matthias Bluebaum, where I also played the London attack here, bishop f4. So this was my preparation, and I was fairly sure my opponent would go for this line, and I could prepare it very specifically. So here, this is the absolute main line, e4, bishop e7, e5, knight h5, and here I prepared this move, knight g5, which is an interesting try, especially if your opponent doesn't know how to react. Bishop takes g5 is correct, queen takes h5, now I'm threatening mate on h7, so g6, queen e2, and now my opponent went f5, which is a, I think, very good practical choice. The critical try would be to take the pawn, c takes d4, but then you can go h4, they can go h5, and you can see that for the pawn I will have some nice compensation here with play against the black king. So this was my preparation, and I thought this is a position that suits me well. I can attack, and it's uncomfortable for my opponent to play. So he played f5 instead. Good move, good practical choice. I go f4, bishop drops back to e7, and here I played the move knight to f3. Maybe bishop f2 is more accurate, I'm not sure. I haven't spent that much time with this position, but the problem could be here that black can take on d4 and grab my bishop. And then I'm not too sure about this position. I have to analyze it further. Probably it's okay for black. So I go knight f3, and I'm telling you what I don't like here. My opponent, I think he played this very well. He goes c4. He closed the position, grabs space on the queen side, and now the situation is clear. Black will play here. He will open up the b file and try to get counterplay there, whereas I will try to get g4 in and attack the black king at some point. And if you imagine now that my bishop was in f2 already, it would be much easier for me to go g4. So that's why I kind of, during the game, was not so happy about this move knight f3, even though bishop f2 also had its drawbacks. And here, okay, this position is very difficult for me to evaluate, but maybe I should not go a3, as I did, because this pawn could always be exposed on a3 later on. Maybe I should just go castle immediately, b4, and then go about my plan, go bishop f2, king h1, rook g1, something like this. It is a difficult position to play for sure. So I go a3, and I'm slowing him down here because he has to take some more time to prepare b4. And now I go for my plan with king h1, rook g1, b4, and king h1. And now my opponent played rook to f7, which was a surprise to me. I thought he would continue in that fashion, play a move like rook b8, and I want to go rook g1 and go g4, but maybe I thought he can even go h5, not sure. This is of course also weakening some squares here, but on the other hand, it slows me down playing g4. So very difficult to say. The computer actually, what I'm seeing right now, he suggests to take and go a4. But I wasn't too afraid of this because it's not clear what black will do. Even if he brings the knight to b3, I can just go rook a2. And difficult also for the computer to assess the situation. So let's see what happened in the game. Rook f7, rook g1, queen f8. That was the plan of my opponent, to put the queen, the rook here and pressure this pawn a3. And now I thought it's a good time to exchange the bishops. Bishop h4 to exchange the dark square bishops, because my bishop obviously is limited by my own pawns. And for my opponent it's the opposite. His bishop is the good bishop, so I thought this makes a lot of sense to trade the bishops. Takes. And now he played queen h6. Interesting move, not clear if he needs to play this. He could also play something else. But it's interesting because I'm kind of tied down to defense now, and I'm kind of also in an awkward place. I cannot go knight f3 back because the pawn is hanging. So I think it's definitely still okay. He goes rook b8. And now I decide to take on b4 and to play bishop a4. And once again, I thought this makes a lot of sense. Computer here suggests another move, maybe rook a6. Okay, still very much unclear. So bishop a4, and he goes knight d8. And I thought, okay, let's trade the bishops. And you might be wondering now, why do I trade my good bishop against his bad bishop, in quotes? Well, my bishop wasn't doing too much either, and I thought that the bishop on d7 is also an important defender for the e6 pawn. Maybe I can target this pawn later on, so I thought this makes sense. And here maybe I should indeed go rook a6, but I noticed this other idea here is to go g4, and I was very much attracted to this idea because I want to checkmate and it looked very good, but my opponent can come up with enough counterplay. And he played correctly here, took on c3, and he played f takes g4, which he has to do. I'm threatening to take, and king h8 might be possible, but I thought I also have some ideas here with rook a6. Maybe I can double on the g file. I thought this also looks good. Rook a6 actually, yeah, seems like a good move, threatening to take on f5. So he took on g4, rook takes, and rook db7. That's the exactly right way to go. If you are being attacked, you want to trade pieces and create counterplay, and black's ready to play rook b1 or rook b2 and create threats of his own. So here I thought for a very long time, and I missed this rook db7 move in advance and was uncomfortable. But then I saw this idea f5, and I tried to make it work for a long time, and eventually I could, and I played it. So let's see what happens here. Now it's getting incredibly sharp, and my opponent was also low on time. I still had enough time here. So he played rook b1. He can also play something else, like e takes f5, but this is actually surprising. Knight takes f5, queen f8. At first looks very dangerous for black. Let's say rook f1. But once again, this idea to trade rooks is saving black here, and position remains about equal. So he goes rook b1 immediately. This makes a lot of sense. Check, check, king g2. And here he plays queen c1, which is the best move. But maybe from a practical point of view, it would have been better to take on f5, knight takes f5, and go queen f8. Queen has to cover e7, so queen f8 is the only move. And I thought that knight e3 was very strong here. Indeed, it is good for white, but what we both missed is that black can still defend the pawn by going rook b5. Nonetheless, it seems that white is a little bit better here. I can bring my rook over, and I might have some chance. We were analyzing this after the game. We thought knight e6 might be an idea to go knight g5, knight e4, but the computer shows rook a1, and if knight g5 now, then king to g3. Okay, why is this happening? I guess activating the king is a very good idea, and then the pawn becomes very strong. Okay, well, this is very far advanced and of course not easy to see. That being said, queen c1 is the best move, but now black has to be very precise. I played knight takes g6 and I thought, okay, this looks very, very strong, and I was happy to play this combination. But there is a way for black to save himself. So I want to give you an opportunity here to stop the video and take your time to find the solution for black, to find a way to hold this game. And it's not easy. So take your time here. This could be a very good exercise. You can even set it up on your board and try to save the game here for black. And there's some beautiful lines to discover. So try to figure it out if you want to. All right, so let's see what happened. My opponent played the decisive mistake here. He went rook b2, pinning my queen, but I can unpin and win. He has to take the knight. Now I take with the rook, and the king has to go to f7. If he goes to a h-file, I can play queen h4 and checkmate. And here first it looks like, well, what can I do? Not too much, but my idea was to take on e6. And yes, I can give a perpetual queen f6, but my idea was to go e7. And I thought, wow, this is just gorgeous. Because I'm threatening to queen, I'm threatening to take, and black cannot stop this pawn. But he has a saving move here. So once again, if you want to, you can stop the video and try to figure it out. Black to move and save himself. And we both missed this. Actually, it's not too difficult, but we both missed it. We only saw it in analysis. Well, black has to pin my queen. And yes, I can queen myself, but I will lose to this queen, and there's nothing to be done. I can take on d8, but now black has an immediate perpetual here. I mean, also, I cannot really cross because takes on c3, takes on d4, and black is obviously not worse. So I can give some checks here, but black will just not go to the h-file, so I cannot take this with check, and it's a draw. So we both missed this rook b2 idea. If you thought queen g5 would be the winner to pick up the pawn, well, white counters with queen g3, pins the queen, exchanges queens, and then this pawn can still not be stopped. So this wins. So h takes g6 was the way to make a draw here with black, but my opponent low on time missed it and played rook b2. So knight f4 check, and I bring back the knight to e2. This was the point, to not lose my queen, right? And my opponent played queen d1. And this move I also had to see in advance, because now rook takes e2 is a very strong threat. And what do I do about it? So this is another test question for you guys. A lot of exercise today. So try to figure it out. White to play and win now. You can see the bar is all the way up for white. So how to finish him off here? All right, got it? Okay. So it's not easy, but queen g3. I can just abandon my knight and it all works out beautifully for white. I'm threatening checkmate myself. So he took on e2. And I bring the king to h3, and after queen f1, king h4, my king is actually safe, and he cannot stop this checkmate threat in a good way. The funny thing is, kind of funny, is that rook e4, which first looks like a good move to pin the rook, doesn't work either because I can take, and now I can go f6, and just magically, black cannot stop me from checkmating on g7. So this is very, very nice. So my opponent played the only move to continue a game, but he gives up the rook and he's in exchange down. And now just completely lost because I will force the queen trade, queen g3. Actually also very nice here is to move in with the king. The computer is showing this, okay. But queen g3 is very simple. I take with the king and queen f3 and the black king is cut off. Black's actually even in a Zugzwang here, but okay, it doesn't really matter. I can also go after this pawn and many ways to win. So my opponent resigned at this point. All right, it was a very interesting, complex struggle, and the position remained equal for a very long time, but then it got very sharp, obviously, and black had to find some only moves, and my opponent, low on time, couldn't find the correct moves, and I was able to win in the end here. Very exciting game. I was happy to have some beautiful variations, especially this situation with the pawn on the 7th rank, threatening to take and then threatening to move forward to queen. It's not so often that you see it. I've seen it in some tactic books, obviously, this motive, but I've never really seen it in one of my own games, so I was happy to spot that. And we were able to win the match with, what was it? It was pretty high, I think 6.5 to 1.5. And by doing so, we managed to save ourselves, and Hamburg will be in the first league for sure next season as well. So this is great news, obviously. All right. Were you able to find some moves? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any questions, and if you enjoyed the video, you can leave a like. And also, if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? All right. See you next time. Bye bye.